Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has begun revenge for the death of its supreme leader Ali Khamenei with the sixth wave of attacks. 27 U.S. bases currently on Iran's radar as several Arab nations report explosions amid raging conflict. A U.S. military base, CIA headquarters in the Middle East among targets struck as Israel also takes lethal blows. Iran's IRGC said it is carrying out a sixth wave of revenge attacks against the US and Israel, presenting it as a continuing campaign rather than a one-time response. In its statement, the IRGC claimed new strikes on 27 locations linked to US bases in the region, framing the barrage as retaliation for the US-Israeli bombardment of Iran. The IRGC also claimed it struck a major Israeli defense industrial complex in Tel Aviv, signaling an intent to hit both military infrastructure and strategic production capacity. Iran further claimed it targeted Israel's Tel Nof airbase and the Israeli Army's command headquarters at Harkiria in Tel Aviv, aiming at high-value command and control nodes. Earlier, Israeli reports cited 1 death and 121 injuries from an overnight strike on Tel Aviv, indicating that at least some projectiles got through despite air defenses. Iran's renewed revenge campaign was presented as following state television confirmation of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's death, a moment Tehran portrays as a trigger for escalation. Meanwhile, reports said explosions were heard in Dubai, Kuwait, and Oman amid air raid sirens, signaling that the shockwaves of this confrontation may be spreading well beyond Israel and Iran. On March 1st, Israel's N-12 was cited in reports claiming that a CIA headquarters site in Dubai was attacked with missiles, an explosive allegation that would represent a major escalation if confirmed. Iranian missiles were also reportedly targeting the Ali Al Salem airbase in Kuwait, keeping US-linked regional facilities at the center of the retaliation narrative. In Iraq, a US military facility in the Erbil area was also reported hit, with eyewitness accounts and updates describing smoke rising after impacts. The Erbil area base was reportedly struck by the Islamic Resistance of Iraq, pointing to the possibility of aligned militia action alongside Iran's own direct attacks. Separate reports claimed direct missile impacts in Haifa, with large explosions also reported in Al-Quds, adding to the sense of simultaneous pressure across multiple cities. Amid Iran's relentless attacks, Bloomberg reporting spotlighted how quickly US and Israeli air defense stockpiles can be stressed during high-tempo missile warfare. The same reporting thread argued that the ability of the US, Israel, and some Arab states to weather Iran's strikes depends heavily on how many interceptors they have left and how fast they can replenish them. And Bloomberg-linked analysis has suggested interceptor stocks could be low after intense combat with Iran in June 2025, raising questions about how long regional air defenses can sustain a prolonged exchange. Meanwhile, US Central Command released what it called a fact-check amid the flood of attack reports and competing claims circulating online and on state-linked channels. The post was framed as rebutting allegations of successful attacks on US bases and warships, and it also pushed back against claims of US personnel deaths by saying there were no reported US casualties or combat-related injuries. Separately, the US released videos and imagery showing what it described as the military infrastructure and strike footage connected to its opening attacks on Iran. The US Navy also posted pictures depicting launches of RGM-109 Tomahawk land attack missiles, underscoring that long-range sea-launched cruise missiles were part of the strike package. In one widely discussed image, at least one Tomahawk appeared in a glossy black finish rather than the more familiar plain gray, sparking attention because that color scheme has not been commonly seen in prior public Tomahawk launch photos. US military posts also highlighted other platforms involved, including images of an E-2 Hawkeye and footage showing launches of the F divided by a -18F Super Hornet, reinforcing the role of carrier-based aviation and airborne command and control. Separately, reports also pointed to a clip showing long-range attacks being launched to strike Iran, adding a land-based long-range fires element to the broader picture of multi-domain attacks.